Welcome to part 19, module 1, computer networks. So this is actually a summarization kind of video lecture where I thought of giving you some more clarity about the service primitives that we discussed in the previous part, and also about how the concept of service primitives and protocols were related. And not only that, it is explicitly mentioned in your textbook also. So that is why I thought of including it. So this is something that we already seen in part 18. So before moving on to this, please go and ensure that you completed that part 18, so that this will be clear in your mind. So this is just a visualization of what we seen in the previous part. So the kind of person in that case we already seen. So you can simply imagine it as a communication between a peer to another peer, but particularly here it taken the example of a client server communication where we have the client machine and a server machine, and a particular client process and server process are running at both sides, and the client process may be means interacted with the client user, and at the server side a server process which is waiting for a particular request from the client. So it already executed the listen primitive, and that is not shown explicitly here, and now it is ready for a communication from the client side. So it is waiting, it is in a waiting mode, waiting for a request from a client. Now at the client side and server side we have the operating system that is providing the network support. So the OS kernel will be there, the protocol stack where each layer and their implementation of the services being provided by the layer are available in a stack view, like we have that concept of lower layer providing services to the higher layer. So that stack oriented structure is highlighted here, but everything is implemented as part of the OS code, and drivers which will interact with the IO devices. So minimum requirement of any operating system, and as part of OS we can see the protocol stack of the network, and kernel is also there. And as we already seen, whenever a system call, whether it is connect, accept, request, replay, or even listen, that is not highlighted here, it's executed, it will trap to the kernel mode, because we need the support of the operating system kernel to have that interaction with the physical machine, okay, or that network interface card. Through that you want to send that special packet, you have to form the packet and you have to send it, and those things OS kernel mode trapping is needed. So that will happen automatically when you execute a system call. So all those service primitives were implemented as implementation is there in the protocol stack, where we can call them by using system calls. So there will be a kernel, OS kernel, that will execute on the background for you. Now the server is waiting for a request from the client. So assume that the server already executed the listen service primitive. Now the first phase of the communication is a connect request from the client, but you can think of a zeroth phase where the server executes listen and it is waiting for the request, okay, and then whenever it is coming, the address of the server will be mentioned, everything we already seen, and when it is coming, the listen will be unblocked, and the server, if it is happy and if it is ready to give service, an accept message will be communicated back, and at this point there is a connection established between the client and server. Now through that established connection, the actual transfer of information will happen using request reply messages. So request for data, and the server is replying back. So whether it is request or reply, actually it is a send. The request message is being sent by the client to the server, the reply is sent, okay. So send primitive will be executed on the background, system call will be. Now the for the request, similarly a receive will be executed at the server side, and that will receive the send request being sent by the client. Similarly at the client side, the same receive will be executed, that will accept or receive the request, reply message from the server. Hope it is clear, you are not confused. And this is will be repeating as a loop, and once the connection data transfer is completely over, and the client want to stop the connection, and as it don't need any service from the server and it want to quit at this point, and it can send a special packet called a disconnect packet, and it can inform that I don't want to continue. I just want to release the connection. And when the server I received it and it is happy with that, it will also issue a disconnect message back. And at this point, the connection from the client to server as well as from the server to client are broken. And that is where the communication ends. And again, if for a new set of communication, they should go through all these phases. But when it comes to connectionless service, there is nothing like a connection establishment or disconnect phase. Directly it will move on that request reply protocol. Now just a clarification, the relation between service and protocol, and both of them we already seen. So service means, as we already seen, the set of primitives or the operation that a layer provides to the layer above it. So service defines what operation the layer is prepared to perform on behalf of its users, and but it says nothing about nothing at all about how these operations are being implemented. It is just giving a hint about what are all the possibility available at me, what are all the services I am ready to provide, and the implementation will be simply hidden. So it is a kind of abstract view. A service relates to an interface between two layers, with the lower layer being the service provider and the upper layer being the service user, and through the primitives the higher layer can access the service. Implementation is up to the lower layer. Now when it comes to a protocol, in contrast, it is a set of rules that you already know, governing the format and meaning of the packets or messages that are being exchanged by the peer entities within a layer. At the peer entities in the sense client, server, or simply peers, for same layer, the protocol is being run at the client side and the server side. Similarly, for the next layer, another protocol that will govern the how the information should be composed at that layer, and it should be communicated to the other peer. So that about it. So how the structuring should be there. So the entities use the protocols to implement the service definition. So what service is just like in that interface, or this many services. So what about its implementation? So that is being governed by the protocol. So by looking at the protocol, the implementation of the service will be done. Now if the protocol varies, definitely the implementation will vary, but we will always try to keep the service primitives as same. So that even though the implementation is changing, the higher layer can simply access it using the conventional method. It don't have to be confused or upgraded at any point. So this will add a lot of flexibility in the design. So they are free to change their protocol at their will, provided they do not change the service visible to their users. That is important. So try to keep the service primitive same, and change your implementation if needed. So services relate to the interface between the layers, where the protocols relate to the packets sent between the peer entities on different machines. So something like this, every layer, say kth layer, is providing some services to the layer above it. So at this interface between layer k and k+1, the services are visible in the form of just function calls or system calls. Simply function call, when it is called by the higher layer, on the background that system call will be executed like that. Similarly, between k-1 layer and k+1, there is another set of services being provided by, or layer k-1 act as service provider and k will act as service user. So protocol C, it is between the same level, right? I mean between layer k and layer k at the server and the client side, or between the same layer at the two peers. The protocol is being executed, and the service being provided by k+1, the layer, is visible at this interface and out about its implementation, and that is happening at this layer k, and the rule of implementation of this the entire thing is being governed by the protocol. So by looking at the protocol, what the protocol demands, accordingly the implementation is actually happened at the lower layer. Same thing happen at the higher layer also. It may be an action when it is being called by the higher layer, or it could be some kind of error message being provided to the other layer, or it can be anything. Okay, so that is the scenario. I just thought of giving more. So now it is everything we already seen separately, but now you got a relation, right? How things are linked each other. Fine, thank you.